Hello, welcome to Current Exposure. We are back on the live stream. We missed everyone in the city of Newark. Jump into the live. We have a very interesting person on this evening. We have Jhamar Youngblood. He's a candidate for Central Ward in Newark. There's a special election on November 4th. He's going to come on and give you guys some information about why this special election is happening and the whole process and why he decided to run for city council. And we're going to learn a little bit more about him and also why data matters. I know some people in the city of Newark are unaware about data and how it's used, and it's not that interesting to them, but it's a very important subject. And I know that Mr. Youngblood is going to do a very efficient job in explaining why you guys should start looking at data and taking it more seriously. So without delaying any further, I would like to bring on Jhamar Youngblood. Hello.
What's up?
Welcome to Current Exposure.
How you doing?
I'm
Thanks
all
for having
right.
me.
How are you?
I'm doing well. No complaints over here.
Awesome. It's nice to finally meet you. I've been doing my research on you. I've been following your campaign. I like it. I think it's energetic, it's fresh, it's young. And I'm definitely feeling it, but I want you to talk to the audience and tell them, why you're running. But first, start off with educating people on why there's a special election, why we're going through this process, why it's even happening, because some
Yep.
people may not know. Go ahead.
Yep. Yep. So basically, our council and mayoral elections or appointments are 4 years. And
Okay.
what happened was LaMonica McIver, she was the councilwoman of the Central Ward, but she saw opportunity when Donald Payne Jr. died. He was a member of Congress representing New Jersey. He was a member of Congress, but he passed away in office. So
Okay.
they had to do a special election to fill that seat. And LaMonica basically, she said she didn't want to be councilwoman anymore, and she wanted to go for that position. So when she didn't go for that position, apparently there's a protocol when council members have to they have to act fast and fill that position. But something happened. I don't want to get into blaming anybody, but something happened where they didn't fill that position immediately,
Okay.
and that seat has been open for like almost like more than a year now. Yeah.
Wow. How
Yeah.
do you feel about that? And was that part of your motivation for running?
That 1,000% was my motivation in running because in grad school I studied like campaign and elections. So like we did mock elections and all that. So
Okay.
it was like the best time to win an election is when you aren't going against an incumbent. So the fact
Okay.
that this election, it was probably would be, I thought it would be first time candidates. So I thought it
Okay.
was just going to be Amina and I. But
Wow.
then, yeah, so that's what I thought initially because she was the only person getting press about filling that seat. So
Okay.
I thought it was just going to be Amina and I. Then George entered the race.
Okay.
George Tillman Jr. and then Gail Cheney fell into the race, and
Okay.
she was a councilwoman before, and she also ran for mayor. So
Okay.
I just thought it would be like the best time. And I knew I didn't want to like get into politics as a Republican or a Democrat, and I wanted to be a independent. So
Mm-hmm.
I just knew that this was the best time for me to enter. And I've always been thinking about it my whole life. Like my whole life, I've been thinking about like political office because my
Uh-huh.
grandmother used to work for the Sharp James campaign, and his headquarters was right here on Broad Street, like literally
Okay.
across the street from where I am now. So I was always getting these signs.
Okay.
I just knew I had to do it my way.
All right. All
So
right.
that's all. So
So wait, tell
yeah,
us.
yeah, go ahead.
You mentioned college. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Like, let me throw out some stats. I gotta throw out data. I love data too. When you started talking about data, I can't say this on a live stream about how it made me feel, but I was very like, this dude is on point with that. And he's really speaking to me and making me feel like he knows what's going on and what's important, and the fact that you're a millennial, right?
Yeah, I'm 37. I
Okay.
was born in
All right.
88.
Okay. All right. And you're a millennial, and we all think the same way. And like I said, yeah, you brought up the fact that you're all right. You're born and raised in Newark. You went to college, and when Cory Booker came into the city of Newark, we only had about, it was 4% of Newark's population that was college educated with a bachelor's degree and above,
Wow.
and now we're at 12%.
There you go.
So the data matters, and when we start really looking into why the city is functioning the way it does, it has a lot to do with that 12% not being in the positions that they need to be in to make
Yeah.
this city function effectively and
Yeah.
efficiently for everybody.
I like that.
So, what
I like that because I didn't even know that. So thank you for giving me more talking points. Like, yeah, like that was a good one. I like that.
I'm definitely into statistics and data, and it's how I believe that white people track black people and how we operated and function, and that's how it was easy for white people with nefarious intentions to attack the community because they studied the data. They had the data on us.
There you
They
go.
knew where we were, what we were doing, what social service programs we were tapping into, um and who was like doing things in the community, the Robin Hood things in the community. They knew who to target to break
Mm-hmm.
that down.
Mm-hmm. But now imagine with all the social media and everything, they got even more now. They
Exactly,
got even
exactly.
more now on
They're
us now.
leveraging data in ways that I feel is nefarious and harmful to the black community, but I see it as an opportunity for us to use it to counter that.
There you go. See, you get it. I don't even have to say anything anymore. You should join my campaign because you said it better than I could.
But yeah, the data really matters. People were like, "Oh, he keep." I was reading the comments where you would go to city council meetings. Oh, he keep talking about data, 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 Mister Data, and I'm like, "Do you guys not get it? Oh, hold up, slavery was effective because of data collection.
Wow.
How many slaves I got, how much work I can get out of them, and how much money I can make to create generational wealth for my descendants."
Yep.
Data was used.
Yep.
But yeah,
Listen, I mean, listen, I'm
I get you.
speechless.
I get you 100%. Also, we got people in the comments too. The way we do it on here, we go into the
Mhm.
comments. Also, we
Word.
get interactive with it because this is the Newark community right
Well,
here.
I can't see the comments, so just
I'll
let me
post
know.
them up.
Yeah, just let me know what they're
George,
saying.
he says good evening to all.
Good evening, George.
Dara says good evening too, and she said it's been vacant
13
13
months.
months as of today.
Yep.
Um, George Matthias gave you a shout out. He lives in South Orange. George is like our ally. our neighbor. He comes to council meetings, speaks up about issues going on in Newark. Used to be a Newark resident, lives in South Orange now. Who else we have? Tahita Jabbar is watching. But yeah, so what do you think about the fact that the council seat was left vacant? Do you think that's negligence, or do you think there should have been more of a seriousness taken to fill that seat? Or do you think it was all right for us just to coast up until this point for a special election?
I think that's the culture. Like if you look at, so if you go on YouTube from when Cory Booker was in office, there's a video when Cory Booker was, I think apparently, I think he was trying to appoint the current assemblywoman Spites to council, and then
Okay.
there was like a fight, and there was a fight in the city council. Like it was crazy. Like it was mayhem. So I say all that to say it's always been controversy around appointing these seats. So
Okay.
it's kind of normal at this point, like for me. So like I wasn't surprised that it wasn't filled at all.
Okay. Okay. So, how is your campaign going? Are you getting tension from the adversaries? Or are they?
I was like, so I
That's
was.
another characteristic of Newark, though. Too, they're gonna throw shots at strong candidates.
Yeah, like I was at first because all right, so like initially I just wanted to do it like my way. And that was just like really like target like a specific type of Norcas, like the like you said, members of the 12%, right?
Right.
But I couldn't get people to volunteer with me if I was doing it that way. Like I couldn't get
Okay.
people just to get on board because people just wanted to be way more open-minded. And then because people wanted to do it that particular way, that means we had to follow like the traditional campaign things. Like we had to go talk to the seniors or
Mm-hmm.
like, but I noticed I was only getting tension when I was going after the same voters that they was going after. And I realized like,
Wow.
yeah, right. So like I
So there was
realized,
some territorial
yeah, heck yeah.
tension. Okay.
Heck yeah,
Okay.
heck yeah, heck yeah, heck yeah. So like whenever I was in the same places as them, or whenever I was like trying to talk to the seniors, or go to like, or try to like go to, or try to campaign at like I guess like a city affiliated event or something, that's when
Mm-hmm.
there was always tension. And then when I
Wow.
came on Facebook and I started to get, I guess my stuff started to get shared, it used to be people that was trying to like attack me, not attack me, but like troll me
Right. The
on
trolls are definitely
yeah.
yeah.
But the thing
Yeah.
is, like, I'm a millennial, right? And I've been online since I was 10. So I used to be in AOL chat rooms when I was like 10 years old. So trolling is fun for me. So I go right back at them. But they stop now. They stop now, and like it's all love. But I have fun. I
And,
have fun going back and forth with them, yo.
and I feel you, and you should have fun. And when you do have fun, you can tell that you have a passion for it, and you're really into it for real. And it's not that you're in it for like personal gain.
Hmm.
And I think that's what has been the issue in the city of Newark right now, that our elected officials are getting everything that they want. They're getting their needs met, but the rest of the constituency is not.
Listen, I shared this quote at the debate, and I think I want to keep sharing this quote with people. This is a quote from Sharp James' memoir. On page 91, he put, I learned early that candidates running for city council who had platforms that advocated for the people's needs and has spoken about saving money for the taxpayers changed their thinking once they got in office. The ideas they spoke of before their election went out the window. They soon became concerned with what they can get out of the government. And he said that in 1970.
Wow.
So it's literally the culture to like use the city government as like a hustle to like get money. Like that's been a culture throughout our city's existence, probably.
Wow. Oh
So
my
now when you
God.
talk about data, it's like the only way we get accountability is if somebody in Washington or somebody like a Chris Christie, if somebody want to like make their name, they come after
Yes.
our politicians and make their
Yes.
name. But now I'm saying that if the people have access to the data, the people can truly hold the elected officials accountable. And I feel like that's the single most important thing we need right now in our city. So no disrespect, George, to Gail or anybody else. It's just like I feel like if no one is saying that, then it feels to me that they just want to like go into the office and do what everybody else been doing.
And we got to stop that because you're right. It's important to look at because the data too helps you adjust the plans that you're implementing, like this homelessness. I personally believe that the data is very off with that.
There you go.
And how they're placing people or not placing people, and they had like they built Hope Village, then they shut it down because they sold the site to a developer, then they shifted people to Hotel Riviera. It's like, what are you doing? Are you even looking at any data? Like, you can't be, because you wouldn't be operating so willy-nilly like this.
There you go.
But
Listen, you gotta run for office too.
oh, I did. Oh, look,
Oh, you
see,
did? I didn't
yeah,
even
this
know
isn't
that.
this. Yeah, this isn't about me. This is about you. Look, they came for me. They had, I was in jail. All this stuff.
What?
Yeah, I understand how real it gets. It gets real out here. It gets very real when you're
Well,
trying to
listen,
make a change. And I want to
damn,
support you though. I want to support people like you, Joyce Tillman, Gail, that's standing up
But let me
to
ask you a question, right? It's 2025, and and again, like some of these people who historically have participated in the shenanigans, it's like they're older and they probably have children, and it's like we know they don't want their children growing up in this type
right.
of Newark. So do you think they like they are still at it? Well, I saw Gail went to JFK to a senior event today at JFK, and she went live. And I just seen the video where she was telling the cop to arrest her because they was trying to like kick her out. So like she
Wow.
went, yeah, like she went live and she documented that whole experience. Yo, she was talking to Raj. She was talking right at Raj all
Oh, I
live.
gotta check that out because
I was like,
I'm gonna
yo,
have her on too. So
please.
I gotta talk to her about that. But that's how it really gets. I don't know if you remember, even when Cory Booker came in, and how he and Sharp James went at it.
I
It
watched Street Fight probably more than 30 times. I watched that documentary so many times.
Yeah.
I understand, like trust me, I understand it, but again, that was when it was 4%, right? I think now
Yep.
that it's 12%, more people can look at that and say we don't want our city to be like that, because part of the 12%, we have access to leave Newark and see what
Yes.
it's like at other
Yes.
places,
Yep.
and we coming back and just saying why can't we do the same things these other places are doing?
And I feel you because I was out in LA and loving it, but I felt like I can do this work in Newark, and I want to do this work in Newark. And I came back, and that's when I ran and I fought the machine or whatever. And now I adjusted my way of going about this and supporting other candidates that's running for office.
Now you got to run again. You got to run again. The people want you to run again. You got to.
I'm not going to lie. I need some money to run again. I need
Yeah.
money. Like
Wait,
I,
what you mean you need money?
I need money. Unfortunately,
I feel you.
the way it is, and the way they have it sewn up, you really need money. I feel like we shouldn't have to do it like that, but This is the
You need
environment
money
that
or
was
you
set
need the
up.
people. Like I feel
I
like
need both.
yeah,
I think I can get the people though, but it takes a little bit money to
yeah.
like attract them to do ads and
That's why we gotta
branding, all that kind
unite.
of
I feel
stuff.
like if a group of people unite and then like everybody share specifically like the influence. Like imagine if you campaigning with a group,
Uh-huh.
especially in something like May, right? So
Right.
imagine in May you go around campaigning with like 6 people. So
Uh-huh.
you don't need as much money. I think what was needed is like committed people. I feel like the more committed people you have in a city like Newark, the better because there's a lot of people who just are not participating. Like Raz Baraka won with around 4,000 votes in a city
Mm.
of 175,000 registered voters.
Wow.
And I'm sure he had more
And
money than.
that's the data too though. This
Mhm.
is you can actually use the data and strategize like a
That's what I
winning
did. That's what I've been. That's how I got here. I literally got here by putting a phone to my face and just using data and social media. And then also being myself. Like, look, that's another thing. Because if you're trying to like, I think if you're trying to copy somebody, you probably need more money because it's
Mhm.
going to be harder to convince people. But if you just being yourself and people know you really care, I think people going like the people who want
They'll
change are
follow.
going like attached to it. Yeah.
I agree. I agree. I agree. But you need the money to fight the adversaries too.
Well, let's see. I don't know. But you're right though. You're right though. You're right though. And I think if
That's what I would use it for. And that's when I did my campaign, that's what I realized that was one of my weaknesses because I
mhm,
didn't want to tap people's pockets. I
yeah.
felt like, if you guys want good government and you support me, that's what I'll give you, quality government. But the adversaries came in and they swept everything because they had money. They had money to give people the impression that they were going to do something worthwhile for them.
Yeah, but I also think that 12% is not falling for it anymore.
I agree.
Like,
I
like with all
agree.
due
But that's
respect, I
we
love
need more of
Roz. Like,
us.
listen, I
And
love
you
Roz.
know what? To
No, go
not to
ahead.
cut you off, but we are the addition to the 12%. The millennials, the people that like my parents, I don't know about your parents, but my parents didn't go to college. So they weren't in the 12%, but they saw the importance of that and they pushed me to go. And supported me in going to the point where I mean it was second nature for me. I didn't feel like, oh, this is what my parents wanted. No, I was the way they influenced me and how important they treated education. I went into college on my own and I was thinking like I'm going there and it's going to be my sandbox to make me better so I could be a better person in society. So that was like my whole thought process with that. And when I looked at those numbers and I'm like, wow, okay, my parents were onto something. And I, like I said, like other people like me, their parents didn't go to college and they pushed their kids to college, and we're a part of that growing 12%. But what
I
college
mean,
did you go to?
uh, all right. Let me say what I want to. I have a thought. So yeah, like there's the 12%, but then there's the like the people who just are like self-educated because of YouTube or because of the internet as well. So
Right.
I think there are a lot of conscious and aware residents in Newark, whether it's through like formal education or like self-education. So I think that's an advantage for us. But the college I went to Monmouth University and I studied finance for undergrad.
Okay.
And then because I play basketball, so I got a basketball scholarship to go to Monmouth University. And then I
Okay.
transferred to a school, Rider University. That's where I graduated undergrad with finance and business. And then for grad school, I went to Dartmouth College in New Hampshire and I studied
Okay.
globalization studies, specifically how local governments operate around the world.
Okay.
So that's honestly like that's my selling point is just that I study how local governments operate. I study how
Mm-hmm.
laws were made. I study how people organize. I know it's possible, and I'm just trying to bring some of those ideas back to Newark.
Okay. Awesome. I like
Yeah.
that. I like that. So, what made you like step out into the political arena? Like, what was it that you felt like I'm tired of this or this isn't working for me? I need to get more involved.
So when I was in grad school in 2013, 2014, I was kind of trolling and I took out ads on Twitter like Jhamar Youngblood, mayor of Newark in like 2020, right? So I, I was just trolling like just to see the reaction and people was like reacting like I don't know, like people was like just like I don't know, like people was giving a good reaction. So it always been in my mind. It always been in my mind. Like
Uh
it
huh.
always been in my mind. I just knew that I had to do it at the right time. Basically, like when the spirit inspired me or led me, that's when I was gonna do it. Like I wasn't gonna force it. But
Okay.
then LaMonica left. That's what I'm saying. Like LaMonica left, and I just was like, it felt like a sign from the ancestors. It felt like a sign. It was like, all right, now is the
It
time.
was like, go. You got it. You got the word to go.
Exactly. Yep. I got the word to go.
Now, did you live in the Central Ward all of your life or other
Yep.
parts of Newark? Okay.
Yep. So I went to grad school. I ended up living in Boston,
Mm-hmm.
Massachusetts. I lived in Brooklyn, but
Okay.
then I came back to Newark in like 2015. Only because it was like I had a tech company and I was just like I was in Manhattan every day just pitching like my tech company trying to raise money from like
Wow.
yeah, from like white men essentially. Like that's what I was doing.
Wow.
Yeah, you're right. So I was like, all right. Newark said they opening up like their tech scene or whatever. And I was like, I was like, yo, I was like, am I gonna be a small fish in this big ocean, or am I gonna be like a big fish in a really small pond or whatever? I ended up
Yeah.
being a very, very small pet, a very, very, very small fish in a very, 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 very small pond. Like that's what ended up happening when I came back to Newark. like,
Oh
like,
wait, hold up. Cookie has something to say to you. She said she's proud of you for following your dreams and you'll get there. She said she needs you in office and she prays that you do not stop until you achieve your goals. You got
yeah, it's good
supporters out
energy.
here, you know. How does that feel like as a black man? Because we got to talk about race. I mean, for the simple fact that we're supposed to be moving into a post-racial society, but we also I think we can't forget our history and how we got to where we are, you know, through our own internal strengths and resiliency because at one point people that look like you and I were either slaves in this country or hung from a tree or discriminated against.
Yep. So that's another reason why I wanted to come to Newark because I don't think we understand how good we have it in like a lot of
I
senses
agree. Yeah.
because it's like and I don't feel that way in Newark, but in other places I had to feel like that. Like I had to feel,
Wow.
yeah, I had to feel like a black man. I had to feel like all this other stuff. But in Newark, I feel like free. Like I could be myself because these are people I grew up with, and like we
Right.
always had black leadership. like our problem wasn't really white supremacy here in Newark. It's
Right.
more like
Oh,
internal stuff.
thank you. There's no racism in
That's what
Newark
I'm
for black
saying.
people.
That's what I'm saying.
when I went outside of Newark, that's when I experienced it. I'm like,
Exactly.
oh shoot, like this is crazy. This is
Yep.
real.
Yep.
Especially
But
being like the only black person in certain spaces, and some spaces we're
not
welcoming,
only
and some
that,
spaces we're not welcoming. Like, what the hell are you doing here? You're black. You're not supposed to be intelligent.
and maybe I'm just a millennial Norker, where it's like I felt like we didn't experience racism, but we also didn't give racism either. Like we
Right.
didn't like participate in it. I had like
Right.
Portuguese friends, I had Puerto Rican
Exactly.
friends. Like if it really felt like we really felt together. And I love the '90s so much. The '90s was a
It was
great time for me.
multicultural.
Yeah, yeah, like it was so pure and fun. And like again, we don't know how good we had it because I go out of Newark and I hear other people's black experiences growing up, and I'm just like, dang, I feel bad for them, like I'm so serious. But in Newark,
We have a rich like black culture here. Not just in leadership but in arts too. Our everyday lives. And I think it's dope, and I don't want us to lose that, but I feel I'm nervous because, and scared because I feel like we're on the brink of losing that.
we are on the brink of losing that. That's why we have to like enter this period of like I call it Nork excellence. Like we need an intellectual like revolution in Nork where we
Ooh, an
start
intellectual.
prioritizing. Yeah, seriously, I feel like there's enough of us out there where we have the information. We just need the courage to like literally go out there and say no. We know what's being done. Like we know our rights, and here is what we suggest essentially. I think the people just got to get more involved in their local government, and then you save it. I think you can save it
Right.
fast
I
because you don't
agree.
need that many people to get things done. You just need
Hmm.
a few committed people.
Right. And people who know what they're doing.
Yep.
I got to emphasize that because that's something that I've been experiencing with dealing with like certain services with City Hall, where I'm like, all right, you're in a position of leadership, you're a director, you should know better. You know, when you're operating your department, like for an example, the sanitation department. We had a director. We had multiple directors come and go. It's been a revolving door of directors. That's concerning too, because that's showing a high turnover. And if there's a high turnover with a director, there's no stability. So, and that's how we ended up with trash being all over our streets, and workers going live on social media posting about short staffing, and how one dude is out there picking up trash by himself while one while the other guy is driving. And it's like, how did we get to that point? How did a director who's supposed to be competent in the specific responsibilities and duties of the operations of sanitation, but he's not?
But you know how we got to that point? Because again, data is not available to the public. So the public only see it at the end when the worker goes live.
Mm-hmm.
But that probably been going on for years and years and years. Is everybody is moving in secrecy. We don't know how decisions are being made. We
Right.
don't know how money is being spent. But only thing we can rely to is like our RLS media or tap into.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where we got to get our data. And if you try to call City Hall, sometimes I heard residents say that they act like you bothering them. So it's just
Right.
like
So you get the poor customer service.
Hmm.
And again, like these people should be trained or know well enough in their position that you can't get mad if somebody's calling you to tell you that their trash didn't get picked up for 2 days and it's still out on the street and the cats and squirrels pluck the bag open. Now the the leftover food is all over the curb.
Yep. And I live next to a restaurant, so I know. I've seen the rats out there like tearing up those bags. Like
Yeah.
it is like it is. It reminds me like we are so outdated. Like what? Like sometimes I like looking at history, and I like looking at like docs from like 1970s in like New York City, and like
Mm-hmm.
Newark just be like Newark gives those vibes sometimes. It's like we still in the 70s the way some of these
Yeah.
systems are operating. It's
Yeah.
it,
I
it I,
agree.
it's
Agree.
it's
They're not using the technology. They're promoting this technology hub, but why aren't we using the technology? Why?
that's why I'm trying to get in, that's why I'm trying to get in
It's
there.
a force multiplier at that. Like it makes less work.
More efficient work.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's done properly too, where we don't have to go back 3 or 4 times to fix it.
Or even people don't have to waste time out of their day to call and spend hours talking to their city when they could have done that in three buttons on a tablet or like on a phone or something. And again, you may
Exactly.
could and again, seniors may need to call, but maybe it's just a different like maybe it's a different service line that seniors got that goes specifically to City Hall or
I
something.
think
Like,
that would be appropriate.
right?
Yeah, I think you know what's crazy too that I've been seeing trending is or seniors being homeless. Have you seen that out there in your candidacy? Have you run into that?
Seniors being homeless. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been living down on Broad Street for probably like since two yeah, so like for 10 years now. So most of my life I lived in the Central Ward. Most of my
Okay.
37 years have been in the Central Ward. And it's like many homeless people down here. And some of them are seniors,
Ooh.
right? Like some of them are seniors, but also what I notice is that a lot of the homeless people they come from other cities. And
I
because
agree with that.
yeah, so like you learn that they come from other cities because Newark is the biggest city in the state. And I even heard some some municipalities be giving their people going through tough times bus tickets to come to Newark. That's what I
Yeah.
heard. That's what I heard. I
That's
don't know.
true. That's true. I
That's
work
what
with
I
some of
heard.
them. It's true. Yeah, they've
See?
told me that too. And we give them a bus ticket to go back because why would you inundate us because we're Newark and you feel like anything goes here and
Yep.
so I do see other municipalities dumping responsibilities on us or kicking the can down the road straight to us. But I think it's because they know that we're disorganized and we don't have strong leadership and that they could get away with it.
Yep.
You
I mean,
know,
listen, that again, everything you saying,
and you
like,
know what? Some of those people have even said to me that they've been told from some representative from the municipality, "Oh, go to Newark. We're gonna drop you off in Newark." And they were like, "All right, well, if I'm gonna get help, I'll get in the car or the van and go." There was a van dropping people off in Newark, and I was like, the guy was explaining to me, and he was an older gentleman, and I'm like, what? Are you serious? I think municipalities that do that should get sued.
Listen,
But
I'm
they know only 12% of us are educated, and we're dealing with so many other issues that we don't have the time to file lawsuits against them.
I mean, listen, with all these technology tools that we have now, I think we have an opportunity to become really, really like really elite because we have a lot of resources. Like we can be like we could be like we could figure out a lot of our problems and then create frameworks for other cities as well. Like that's how much talent and that's how many like or that's how much resources I think are in Newark that we can like start leading again. Like you said, all that Black history and stuff is like we could bring that back.
I agree. I agree.
And I think we could do it really, really fast too. Like I feel like, yeah, we do have a lot of like issues, but I think culturally and with the
Mm-hmm.
internet, it's like we can make Newark look good really, really fast because there's so much good stuff here.
I agree.
We
But
just
what do you
gotta amplify it. We just gotta like unite it and amplify it. That's it. It's like everything in Newark is so divided. And
I
it's like
agree. What do you think this division came from? It's weird to me. It's
that's just the
weird
cult,
that
that's
that we're
just the
acting like
culture.
we don't know each other
That's just the culture.
over positions and titles. And it's like that's not even our thing.
Yeah. But again, I've been reading Sharp James' book, and this has been going on for a while. It's this idea of like we better than you, like we are better than you. I think once
Wow.
we, I'm serious, like that's how people feel
Wow.
that
You
we are
know,
better than you.
you ever read the book Animal Farm?
I heard about it though.
All right, so basically that Animal Farm is when the animals revolted against the farmers to get their independence. But once they got their independence, they started off good, but then they started becoming just like the farmers
Hmm.
and oppressing each other. And then they started creating social classes basically, and then they started living in a house like the human farmers did, but certain animals weren't allowed in a house. You had to be like a hen or a pig or something like that. I think that's what who was in a house. But yeah, and I'm like, how did we get to that point though, where we became like our where our leaders became the oppressors that they complained about, like everything our leadership complained about the old white leadership doing to us, now they're doing. And it blows my mind, like the fact that I had to go through so much to the point where they were willing to like take my livelihood away and put me in jail, knowing how sensitive that is to a black person.
Well, I think it's fascinating that listen, I've developed a community on Facebook, some
Uh-huh.
of the most direct and like factual people out there. I posted something about LaMonica yesterday, and
Uh-huh.
it's fascinating to me how outsiders or newcomers to Newark think that like our elected officials in Newark are some of the most progressive people out there. No, they do. I'm telling you, but it's because they was at Delaney Hall and they got arrested and they're both going after Trump. But
Mm,
people in Newark are accusing them of the same things that Trump is doing. And I'm just looking at that as someone that's being really, really objective. And
uh-huh.
I'm just like this is fat. Like there's no place in America like Newark
It's wild.
politics.
It
I
is.
swear, it is the
It's
is
unique.
like
It really is
it's
unique.
crazy.
It really is unique. And I think like Sharp James's book, is that Political Prisoner that you're reading?
Yep.
Yeah, his book speaks a lot about that. And it's something I think should be studied too. Um But yeah, I'm on the same page as you with that.
It's
It's crazy.
interesting, but
It's crazy.
again, I'm going to keep bringing it back to this point that it's been so crazy. I think if we just like, because think about it, let's just say we saying that people making fun of us from the outside or laughing at us, whatever, we might as well make them laugh at like us doing something good and like really pushing the agenda. If they're gonna laugh anyway,
Right.
let's just like go all out and try to see if we can solve some of the biggest issues out there instead
I
of
agree.
trying to build political like political dynasties, or I don't know what people trying to do. Like they just trying to get the power and just use the influence to make other people money. I don't know what I'm not trying to call nobody out. I'm not trying to like do whatever, but it's like I think a lot of people see it and we just need
Hmm.
better solutions and then organize around those solutions.
Right. And let me go back to the point of why I said we need money because they had me tied up in court too. So when you're
Dang, what you do? We talking
I
to a
was
legend right
I was
here.
I was good trouble.
Okay. Yes.
Shout out to John Lewis. I was good trouble. They didn't like it. I had to fight Councilman Kelly for a false harassment complaint, and he really filed a complaint with the police because I relayed a message from my 8-year-old son at the time that said he was going to give him a proper red nose for a clown. And my son is uh he's pretty sharp and intelligent, and he understood what was going on, and Kelly had came to my house with some goons or whatever.
Wait,
And my
hold on. I'm sorry to cut you off. Like, did that mean something? Like the red nose clown thing?
Yeah, it was an actual red nose.
And he said he gonna give him a what? Say that
A,
again.
a proper red nose for a clown.
Wait, what does that mean?
It was a red nose, like an actual red nose that you put on your nose.
Oh, he gave it to your son?
No, my son said he was gonna he told me that's what he was gonna do for him. So I relayed the message to him at a council meeting of what my son said he was gonna give him.
Oh,
And
I
next thing
see.
I know, I had a harassment complaint because he said then he flipped it and said that I had my 8-year-old, sick my 8-year-old son on him, and he was gonna punch him in the nose. And I'm like, that's not
Oh,
what I
okay.
said. That's
Oh,
not
you
what
used
my
to go to
son
the
said.
council meetings?
Yeah, so I was banned. I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
there because they banned me.
Oh, they
I had
banned
to,
you?
yeah, I had to get an attorney
What?
to fight the harassment complaint, which I ultimately won and got dismissed, but that cost me money.
Oh, wow. I had
Yeah, the
no
attorney.
idea who I was talking to.
Yeah, that cost
Wow.
me money. And they continued to do stuff after that, but um I'm still
Wow.
around. But yeah, it's hard work. It really is hard work. And then you have people who are fighting for their personal livelihoods, like whether this is the only way that they get a paycheck, they're gonna do things like that. Because the things and the truth that I was talking about him put him in a position where yeah, you now you have to defend why you're there when you shouldn't be.
Dang.
But yeah, and this is he came in basically doing the same thing. It's like wow, like you're implementing the status quo right now. You're no different. And
And I
I
think,
felt like if you're
yeah.
no different, I'm coming at you because I'm a taxpayer.
Hmm.
Like my property taxes go into the kitty or the bank for these guys to get a paycheck.
There you go.
And you want me to just be cool with what you did?
There you go.
And you costing me more money on top of what I'm
That's
already
true.
feeding you and your family, but you tried to take away from me and my family because had I not gotten an attorney or had I been laxed about it, I could have lost my livelihood. Then what? He probably wouldn't have cared. But
Listen,
this is
you
what
are.
we're dealing with. And that's why I like your campaign too, because I'm like, it was a lot of women out there for a minute. And I'm like, where are the men? You got my 8-year-old son stood up, but he's only 8. Like he can't run for office. he can't. He can't. He can't really protect me, even though the man tried to say he threatened them. But I'm happy that you're involved. George Tillman is involved too.
And Walter Jacobs is involved too.
He is. I thought he stepped out
Nah,
and.
but his name is still on the ballot. So if
Oh
y'all
wow,
want to support Walter Jacobs, vote for him. He's on the ballot
wow,
still.
wow, wow. But
Like I was
it's
joke. That was a joke. That was a joke. I tried to
oh
make a joke. I tried to make a joke about Walter Jacobs, but he still is on the ballot because although he dropped out, his name still is on the ballot.
oh
So like he
okay.
couldn't remove his name off the ballot. So that's why I said if people want to vote for him, they could. Crazy.
Yeah, George said bullies in City Hall. Oh yeah, and then I got okay. Then after the comment, LaMonica banned me. Um, so
Oh, dag,
yeah,
LaMonica Banchu.
she did the same thing that's being done to her. She's done to Norca. So people aren't lying about that. But I wish her well because she's in a tough situation. But at the same time, like you can't control karma. You can't control how it comes back. That's why it's better to just not do stuff to people who aren't doing anything wrong.
That's what I'm saying. Is like the world loves LaMonica. Like they love LaMonica because they think she's standing up to Trump, and they love Roz. Like I went to Rutgers University, and I was speaking to I was speaking to like their Young Democrats club, and then
Mm-hmm.
one of the questions was about Roz and like LaMonica and stuff. No, like it was about Roz, I think. And they was like, yeah, like we love Roz. Like, what are your thoughts on Roz? I just was like, yo, y'all have to do a Google search and y'all can make up y'all own like
No,
thoughts
they
on
need
like
to
what y'all
come
think
live
of
in
that
Newark.
man.
They need to come live in Newark. Come to the city council meetings. Experience life as a
Yeah.
Newarker. Because these are the same people who sat silent while we went through a water crisis.
Mm,
They fought against that. First they
yeah.
downplayed it too, and these are the same people.
Dang.
Yeah, that was like if we didn't continue fighting and pushing against them, they were gonna continue
Mm,
to let us drink lead.
wow.
They're worse than who was that Queen Elizabeth that said let them eat cake? No, not
Wow.
Queen Elizabeth. Who was that? Which queen was that in France when she said, "Oh no, wait, I think it was England." Yeah, when she said let them eat cake, basically they were like let them drink lead. They let us drink lead and they were going to continue until we really made an issue and kept fighting about it. And that breaks my heart because these are other black people who like know better.
Yep.
And I just don't understand like what's so good about taking care of yourself and making sure you're in first class, but you're there all alone. Nobody else is in there with you. What's like what type of life? I don't know. Maybe that's the type of life they want, but I can't live like that. Like I can't be in first class if my peoples aren't in first class with me. I can't be at the top of the mountain by myself and look back and be like, "Oh well, what's the point? We came to the mountain to party and live life and enjoy our peace. But if you're there by yourself, like, how great is it?
Well, apparently, I also heard it's like really click like based too. So I
Mm.
heard they be partying, but it's like them private parties when not a lot of people are allowed to go, and then other people be
Oh
scared because
wow.
if they go against them, they're not going to be invited to the party. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah, like it's a lot going on down here. It's a lot going down,
Wow.
especially down here where a lot of the events or a lot of the businesses are sponsored by, or not sponsored, but somehow funded through City Hall some way, whether it's
Mm.
Invest Newark or Downtown District or all these people that like put on programming, like
Mm-hmm.
it's really click, like it's really clicky,
Mm.
and
Yes, it
the
is.
so they out here
Friend,
partying, they out here partying together for sure. Yeah, like, I be seeing
but they're not on a mountain though. They're not.
it.
They're partying next to us while we're suffering.
Yeah,
They
they
got a
partying.
partition. They got a partition up, like, on the other side of the partition, we're suffering, and then they got the DJ pumping the music. They're popping bottles, and it's like, damn, how could y'all be in such close proximity partying while your people are suffering?
Hmm.
But that's what they do. So you're right, they are partying right in our faces.
Yep. But again, that's why it's like I think the only way, like we have an accountability issue because I think they've proven that they aren't going to keep themselves accountable. So the only way that we can get accountability in Newark is if it comes from the residents. And the only way the residents can do it is if they have access to the data. That's all. Like that's my whole thing. Like the only way to keep these people in City Hall accountable is if you understand how they making decisions and how they spending money, because you could look at the outcomes of those decisions and the outcome of that money spent and determine if they did a good job or a bad job. And if they
That's
did a good
true.
job, just like encourage them to keep doing it, or if they did a bad job, call them and share some solutions, and like get them some feedback. So like the people are a part of the government just as much as the council members,
Mm-hmm.
because if you're not involved, this is the type of government you always are going to get,
Mm-hmm.
because they just going to take advantage of the system.
And I see that. I see that happening in Newark because people are trying to basically keep up with everyday life on top of the BS they're doing in City Hall.
Yep.
Um, but what do you think it will take to move? Oh wait, hold on. We got a comment by Mutai Elamine.
Invest Narcus is a scam.
He said, formerly known as the ECB, which led to federal indictments and a name change. He's actually right about the name change.
Wow.
And you study business, so
Hmm.
you know the game. I have an
Yep.
MBA too, so you know the game about name changes.
Hmm.
That's like how some scandalous companies continue to be scandalous. What they'll do is they'll just change the name of the company
Hmm.
and say we're starting all over,
Hmm.
and they'll do a reorg, bring new people in on the bottom end, but the people running it are still the same corrupt people. So it never really changes. Faces change within the organization and names of the organization change, but the corruption still goes on behind the scenes.
Just like again, apparently that's how the city government been too. So when it was Italian leadership, it
Yes.
was corruption. When it was like German leadership, it was corruption. When it was Jewish leadership, corruption. Black leadership, it's like the same thing. So it's literally a cultural, it's like really culture. And if we don't break free from that, nothing is going to change. And this is the main thing that we should be talking about. Because again,
Mm-hmm.
our issues are unlike everyone else's issues. Like we
I
got to
agree
talk
with that.
about our internal stuff, And I think that should be the most important thing. And if nobody is talking about that, that means that to me, it means they just want to continue the same old culture because that's our problem. It's the culture.
Mm. So what is your take on our youth too, and
I,
what the city does as far as getting them engaged and prepared to be the leaders of the future?
well, there doesn't seem to be a current plan to get them prepared to be the leaders of the future, but I just think they need more out of school activities,
Mm,
more options to spend their time on just more creative things because it all comes down to their free time, right? So I think
mm-hmm,
that's the most basic, straightforward answer I got. And
mm,
it's just like figuring out where could we get the funds to invest in some out of school programming for our teenagers. What are they like? Just it could be anything, ways that they can learn skills, things, just
mm-hmm.
activities, sports. Like we just got to be creative in figuring out how we gonna get that done. I think that's the
Right.
most important thing.
Do you think we should start doing well, basically like an assessment to find out what their interests are so that we can build these spaces to foster those interests?
And here's where data come into play. Just imagine if we had this data on our youth interests.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Literally
Yeah,
just imagine.
yeah,
And we could bring them together at certain events so they can collab, like bringing kids from the East Ward and the
yes,
North Ward and the South Ward
yes,
together. And now they working on that interest. So like that's
right.
why data is important because we can like unite people, connect people. We can get feedback from people. Like data is really, really important. So I don't know, like these just the type of ideas I have because we have to get creative in how we solve some of these issues. And I think the more data we have, the more creative and the more accurate we could be with our solutions.
I agree with that. Because I remember at one point I was talking to kids when I ran in 2018, and I was talking to some kids, random kids throughout. I did at large, so it was throughout the city. And I learned that I did a needs assessment. That's how I collected my data, to learn that they wanted a skateboard park. They liked the skateboard, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know so many kids in Newark skateboarded.
Yep.
Why don't we have a skateboard park? So when I talked to some people in recreation, they were like, oh, we don't need that. The kids aren't gonna come if we build that. That's going to take money, blah blah blah. But I'm like, but I spoke to the kids. This is what they're doing. And why should they have to go outside of Newark to skateboard? Or why should they not be able to skateboard and put their skateboard dreams to the side because there's no environment that supports that? You
Yep.
know? So yeah, I agree with you with collecting the data.
Yep. So I don't listen. I don't know.
Will asks, has the Newark budget passed?
It has. They passed it yesterday.
With the deficit?
Yeah, they passed it yesterday.
Wow.
Apparently, again, I see all this stuff. I don't know what's true, but there was pressure that the state was going to take over if they didn't get it passed or something, so they went
Mm,
ahead and passed it. Again, we don't. I don't know what's true, but it definitely was passed yesterday. I think two
wow.
days ago.
Wow. I just want to share some history too. When Cory Booker had a $118 million deficit.
And this
Um
is after Sharp James says he left the city in
in
a
a
$100 million
surplus.
surplus. Yeah.
Yeah, they robbed the city. And it was a deficit, but I'm not sure what happened with Cory Booker's campaign, but other things did happen there we had the recession in the
Yep.
country.
Yep.
So I really don't have enough information to say Cory Booker stole the money, but that's
Yep.
what Norkers believe.
Yep.
um, I don't know if that's what happened, but this is what I know. It was a $118 million deficit. When Raz came in, he said that he got us out of the deficit. So I'm not understanding. And that was he came in, was that 2014?
14. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2014. So now we're in 2025. If you were able to clear the prior mayor's deficit, why are you putting us in a deficit now? Why are we in a deficit if you know
At
what you're doing? To the
at
point
six
where
hundred
you
million
can,
dollars too.
right, to the point where you can clear other deficits, you couldn't figure this out. So that just makes me start to get skeptical about what our mayor is really doing for us in that seat. And I always have to like give the disclaimer about him as a person, because some people in Newark think when you are constructively criticizing somebody about not doing the job based on what the job is, they take it as a personal attack. And it's not a personal attack. He's probably somebody I would hang out and chill with and have a great time. But as a mayor, I feel like we're not getting what we could get. That's it. Like I
I need
feel
you to
like
be
we
my
could do better.
campaign manager.
And it's not, and it's no personal attack. It's just, you know, I want us to win because we have the opportunity to, in our future generations. That's their opportunity to win is on the line, and we cannot sacrifice that for one person's ego and for one person's feel good moment. We can't do that because our kids are going to suffer. They're suffering now, even with the superintendent and what he's doing, and our kids not being able to read. Like that is alarming. If our future generation can't read, I don't know why people are so relaxed about this, but if our kids can't read, how are they going to excel in the future? How? You got to be able to read. Like I've gotten to everywhere I've gotten to, and even being able to defend myself because I know how to read. And that's also been a soft spot too for Black culture literacy. We were blocked out from reading because when our ancestors who were already here and our ancestors that were taken from another country and born here, we did not know the European language or the European laws, and us being kept out of that was because we didn't know how to read and comprehend. And it's like we're going backwards. We're going back to that voluntarily. They're not even keeping us out. They're like, oh, well, y'all can't read and y'all okay with that. Y'all superintendent is okay with that. The parents are okay with that. Nobody's in the streets about that. But people are in the streets if the baby come and talk about, some things to beat for 24 hours. Where we
Oh,
going?
that's
Where we going? Where we going? Where are we
that
going?
that's why I'm trying to do a complete 360 and go the opposite way and just say, yo, we could be great, like we could be excellent and just try to pump that life into the city and then just get our minds just trained to believe that we're capable of overcoming so many of these issues. And I think that's what we need. We need the reverse. Like we don't need small changes. We need like A
Yeah,
complete
yeah,
change, like a
drastic,
complete change, like a
drastic.
drastic change. And
Yeah,
again, if nobody talking about that drastic change, then I personally wouldn't want to be in Newark because it's not going to be cool. Like it doesn't feel good to be like to feel like your city is managed by like incompetent people. That just doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel good at all. And
it, it doesn't when you like, and I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm going to be realistic. When you got the crackhead as the director, like, come on, what are we doing? I mean, we gotta find another position for that person. They can't be the director. They're probably a nice person too, but their substance abuse is gonna get in the way of them doing the job, and it's doing that. When you have people who go to work and whatever beefs they got in the street, the beef shows up at the job and blows his head off. That happened at the public health department. Like, we can't have stuff like that. Like, what do we what happens with the background check? What who That's crazy. Dude with the work had a beef in the street and other dude shows up at the job to blow his brains out. That's crazy. That's not even normal. And then the city just continued like that didn't happen. I think that should have been a press conference. Like, at least have some type of standards. If you want to get somebody,
listen, I
I mean,
also
you shouldn't
heard
be trying to get nobody, but why are you doing it in broad daylight at their job?
I also heard employees be twerking in City Hall. So we banning twerking in City Hall for
Okay.
sure.
All
Seriously,
right.
like no, seriously, like we got cultural issues. Like we have real cultural issues in our city, and I think it starts from the council members and it
Mm-hmm.
starts from the administration.
Right.
Because if people are looking up to them as like the leaders of the city, if they don't like aspire to be them or respect them, then they're not going to. I feel like they're not going to want to truly fulfill their duties. I think they just gonna be half-assing it. So I don't know, but I
And
think
that's what we
everybody
getting right
noticed.
now.
Yeah, everybody noticed. So I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm saying what everybody know, but nobody
Okay.
fit. Yeah, like nobody seemed like they, like you said, nobody in the streets, nobody really active. Nobody seemed like they truly care. But I think
Right.
more people are becoming more conscious though.
That's good. I have a question from Ron. He says, "Are you proposing we adopt New York City's data law verbatim, or would you tailor it to Newark? And if the latter, what specific modifications would you make?" And he's saying data is inherently backward looking. It shows what already happened. While transparency is valuable, doesn't effective governance require proactive leadership, not just reactive responses to metrics? How do you balance data driven accountability with the need for forward thinking vision? This was a great question, too. You want me to
Well,
break it up?
no, I
Could start
mean,
with,
well, to the criticism, even if it's reactive data, it's still
mm-hmm,
valuable because you
I
can
agree.
then use that data to what? Predict things.
Right. It
That's the
it
beauty of
tells the
reactive data.
patterns. It shows patterns.
Exactly. And then once you find the patterns, it's easier to come up with the solutions. And that's really how all solutions are like basically figured out, because once you figure out the problem, you have to figure out what is causing the problem. And when you look at what is causing the problem, it's that reactive data. So that's
Mm,
why I think reactive data is important. And to the first question, what would I do different? I think at the end of the day, what I would love to do is hold a town hall, do surveys, figure out what data do people want to see? And even as a council member, I'm going to have access to certain data. So maybe the first version is me uploading a freaking Excel sheet every day and like, okay, here's the data. Maybe that's the first version, right? But I'm going to chat with the residents to see what data they want. I know specifically they want to see how the money is spent from like the agency. So
Mm-hmm.
you can start there, then you can figure it out. Crimes,
That
like
too. You brought up something really important. The money with the agencies and how it's being spent is basically, if you have an agency that says a nonprofit whose mission is to make sure they inspire and motivate youth to enroll in college or some type of hands-on training, you should be able to show us how many youth you put in college, how long they stayed in college, if they finished or didn't finish, what jobs they got, what kind of jobs they got. Like, we should be able to have those type of metrics, like you said, to say, okay, this is working or not working, we need to adjust.
yep.
Because I know we got all these organizations, nonprofits. Somebody said, let me see, it was Jimmy White said there are programs throughout the city by people who care. And I agree, but what does their data look like? Like, when I'm at work, I can say, all right, five, not five, that would be a daily. Let's say for the month, 50 people came in and I was able to put 20 people in shelters. And I track that each month. And then I also track, all right, during September, October, November, I get more people than I do in June, July, and August because people are willing to live outside and sleep outside in the summer. But in the other months, it's colder. So I'm going to get more people. And that's how I prepare my applications. Like, okay, I need to have 10 applications ready or this many applications ready. This is my expectation for the month. And I operate like that.
But that probably save you money, save you time, like,
Time, yes, it
yep,
saves me a lot of time.
yep. So again, I just think we have to be more efficient because we have a lot of resources. We just have to use them more. I offer no criticism. Just yeah, for sure, for sure. I think we just have to have more. We just need smarter people in there who just
I
value
agree.
efficiency and all that. But also, we need more of our conscious members of our city to like be informed. Our problem is we just lost hope. So we just think every black candidate is the same. You like, oh, you just trying to go in there
Get a
and like,
job. You want a
yeah, get a
job.
job. You trying to hustle. It's like, no, I'm actually trying to change the culture and provide data and help our city. So, but I don't blame them because I do blame them, but not because, and I don't blame them. I do blame them because like we're spoiled. Like we are really spoiled in
We are,
Newark.
because
We are,
we did not experience real racism here. I'm
yeah, we
telling you.
spoiled. Yo,
Like,
we're so spoiled.
it wasn't direct. Let me say that. Because when we did have the non-black administration, it was some racism, but it wasn't direct. Like, when you go outside, it's direct. Like, you're reminded that you're black. I didn't know black was such a huge thing to people until I went outside of Newark. I was like, oh snap. People
But
really
me,
don't like black people. That's crazy.
I think me being from Newark, it basically prepped me with so much like confidence to even overcome that. Like
Mm,
I grew up knowing that my elders fought back against the systemic oppression. It
mhm.
was, and like
Right.
that, and like made me feel proud that they did that so I can have the freedoms that I have today. And that was in right. So I was born in 88 and that happened in 67. So
Wow.
that was relatively like still in the energy of Newark during the 90s when I grew up. So
Mm-hmm.
I still felt that pride. I still felt that just
Yeah.
pride to be black, the like just pride that knowing that people in this city fought back. So I had the courage when I went out there. It's like I seen people try to like they tried to be racist, but it
Uh-huh.
only works if like I care,
Right.
right? So I'm
Okay.
looking at them like, okay, you somebody I know I'm never even going around now. Like basically like you
Okay.
blocked off. So it's like they was punished. And I was a
Okay.
good basketball player too. So like a lot of people knew me and stuff. So it's like they just was punished from and honestly, even today, because people like there's a lot of like the new white people in our
Mm-hmm.
a city, and they
Mm-hmm.
just as racist, yo. Like they just as
Really?
yes, but they got it. I'm telling you, it's like liberal racism. Liberal racism
Oh.
is the craziest, and these are people who call themselves socialists and
See,
all
and
this other
Malcolm,
stuff.
okay, I think I know where you're going with this because Malcolm X talked about them. And I think these are the people that promote people that black people that harm us
Yep.
because they feel like they're the only
Yep.
ones. I feel like they're dangerous.
Yep. And they here in
And
Newark. They here in Newark. I'm telling you.
okay,
And I'm gonna tell you where they at. Whatever. They
tell me,
been
tell me.
all right. So just like you are banned from the city council meetings,
Yes.
I'm banned from our city's Reddit channel.
Really?
Yeah, yo. So if you go on Reddit, like that's where
They
a lot.
kicked you off?
Yeah, they banned me. They banned me from there. They banned me from
Wow.
there. But again, it's because like it's like I'm just trying to be practical and sensible for the poor people living in Newark. Like it's like that, like that is literally my focus. It's like, yo,
Mhm.
75,000 people in Newark are legit living in poverty. So and
Yeah.
they have, and because of their living in poverty, that's triggering all these other issues.
Okay.
So it's like if we can figure that out, we can help prevent them going to jail, help prevent domestic abuse, help prevent them joining gangs. It's like I'm hyper focused on literally doing that because I think once we do that, everything else around our city will be better. So just like they say, a rising tide lift all boats. Okay, let's
Right.
rise the poor, and then the poor going to lift everybody else's boat in North.
Mhm.
So, right, like that's how I see it. And I think a lot of people they try to focus on other things. And when you
Mhm.
don't want to do that, that's when that's when I experienced their racism like come out. Cause it's like, who do you think you are to be thinking like that? And it's like,
Right, and it'd be like,
I'm me. What the like and it'd be real
"You
hatred. It's like
you
it's
you hurting our community.
I
Get out of
know.
here."
Yep.
Like, do you know how detrimental you are? And
Yep.
you don't even know it, and you believe in your mind you're helping, you're not.
Yep. Well, they are in our city and
I'm
they are
glad you brought that
yeah, they
up.
are proud. Go on our Reddit channel. They are proud, yo.
Wow.
And Reddit
Somebody
is a place where you could just speak anonymously. So
right.
they be on there having an amazing time bashing our city.
Wow. Wow. And Will Hathaway, hey Will, welcome. He said, "What will you do in the Central Ward regarding crime, education, and youth?"
Again, I think a lot of it comes down to poverty. So
Okay.
like education, I know I'm going to use my platform to educate and and I think I do that now, like use my platform to like educate people on how things work. But if I officially got the title, I'm definitely going to like educate our residents, our residents all the time. Like I want to live
Yeah.
stream everything. Like I literally want to be in there and like live streaming my day on how I make decisions. Like I want to
Wow.
like take transparency to the next level and let
I
people
like
see,
that. I like
yeah,
that.
yep.
Because you
So,
can't hide with transparency. And
yep,
and I know the current administration throws that word around, but it is one thing to throw the word around and compared to like actually doing transparency. It's totally different.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying, oh, we're going to be more transparent. This is more transparent. You're saying it, but not doing it. When you take away people's ability to do Oprah requests, which I was doing too, I was doing a lot of Oprah requests. That's how I found out who what aides were under which council member, how much money they were working, how much
Wow.
money they were making. Yeah, what
Wow.
their credentials were. And some people got pushed out and moved around because they weren't qualified.
Wow. See, this is the perfect story of what I'm talking about. I didn't even wait. So you was doing Oprah requests to get this simple data.
Yep.
And all right,
Yep.
so
And
how
I
long
was
did it
getting
take you?
it.
How long did it take you to get the
They
data
would
on
fight.
average?
They would fight with me. Sometimes like it would take like a month or two. It
A
would take
month?
longer. Yeah, yeah. And one time I had did a complaint with Trenton, and we had like a hearing or whatever, and right before the hearing they gave me the information I requested. So of course now where it was like right before it was scheduled. So the hearing was already in motion, and yeah, like they basically dropped the hearing because I had got the information I was requesting. So they would play games like that.
Dang.
And that's what they do to exhaust you. Because why should I have to request a hearing every time? And that took work because you got to fill out certain paperwork, and I have to take time out of my day where I'm not getting paid to do this. I have other things in my life going on, and yeah, they would just like delay and do all types of things to cause hangups. But when I noticed when I got serious with the law, then they would comply. But then somehow I guess they were tired of everybody and like watchdog citizens doing Oprah requests that Phil Murphy changed the law. So now it's a little bit different and harder.
Mm.
Yeah.
So Phil
Yeah.
Murphy made it harder to access the data.
Yep.
Oh
Yep.
my
And
God.
and this was a vote that was taken in Trenton, and yeah, it changed the way Oprah requests would work. Yep.
Dang.
Yep. So and that right there made me feel like, okay, y'all have something to hide. But at the same time, they all had transparency on their campaign platforms as this is what we're going to continue to do. They said they were doing it and they were going to continue to do it. But why restrict people from doing Oprah requests if you're about transparency? That's counterintuitive. But they think people are dumb and people don't know. And it's not that, but like I can't keep fighting. I can't keep risking getting locked up and having to pay for an attorney, and for what?
Wait, I have a question. So like were you coming in peace or like you was turned up?
I was in peace. I was as a resident. I was speaking at the podium. I was signed up and everything. So, I was ruffling feathers, and they didn't like it, and they had to put a stop. They had to strategically stop me, and that was the only way they could do it.
Wow.
Yeah, they tried to sick some girl on me, but she got bumped out. That didn't work.
We need to make
So,
a documentary of all the women that like go to those council meetings because a lot of y'all really inspired me for sure.
Will said transparency in New Jersey is a joke. I don't blame you, Will. And DeMarco Blackman said they've always used manipulation with using specific words, but have no intention on letting people look into their secret spaces because they don't want to be discovered. That's crazy. They're hiding in plain sight. That's what R. Kelly did. That's the same thing he did. Fake transparency. But I don't know. I had
Madness.
you on here for an hour and a half. Oh
No,
my
that was
God.
fun. That was fun.
Thank you. We gotta
Yeah.
wrap it up. You gotta come back on too. You
Hmm.
gotta come back on. You gotta show us some infographics. Maybe
For
the people would
sure.
like the data if they see it like that. They like to
For
see
sure.
colorful stuff and artistic. Maybe you could present the data in a way that's artistic
Hmm.
and people would receive it better, because I learned that too, that with the 12% that has bachelor's degrees and above, everybody's not into reading. And I don't want to say like they should be on a basic level, but I also learned with the water struggle or the water crisis that people responded to pictures and words better instead of just words only. They got it. They were able to receive the information more. So I'm thinking like a combination of that, like an infographic with the data,
Yeah, for
will
sure. Let's
get
chat.
people on board.
Yeah, I can. I mean, that's a good idea. If there's anything specific, like we could chat about it, and I could just go design it and present it. But I definitely like the idea.
Oh, and shout out to Nadira Brown. She posted the link to when Phil Murphy, his
Oh
controversial
yeah, let me
overhaul of
take a
the Oprah.
screenshot of that. Thank you,
Yes.
Nadira. Thank you. I'm gonna look that up. Dad, he tried to stop it. See, see,
And,
that's
and
why.
and we're out here. We follow, and you know what it is like as women, we probably come across as overly emotional, but it's a reason. It's a reason why the women are at the city council meetings, and they come consistently, and they get on that microphone the way that they do. It's not just for their health. It's because something is wrong. Things are wrong in this city.
Yeah, that's why I said the woman that went to the city council meetings, like they definitely inspired me because again, speaking of data, that's where I was getting most of my data from. Like Lisa Parker going up there saying, "Oh," I'm like, okay, like
The
they're like,
malfeasance.
I was like, okay, so yeah, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're definitely right about that. And I said this comment earlier. It would be cool to do like a documentary of all the women that go to the city council meetings because we got
Yeah,
so many interesting
yeah,
characters and people who are literally keeping our city alive like civically.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Yep. And it's like, where I think if we didn't have them, we would be doomed.
oh heck yeah, without a
We would be
doubt.
doomed because
What?
it's at least somebody is saying something.
What? Oh my
But
God, yo.
imagine without them, they would roll right over us.
I wouldn't want to be here.
Me
I swear
either. I
I
would.
wouldn't want to be here without them.
I
I
wouldn't even
wouldn't.
live here. I would have been
Yeah,
gone.
it'll
I
be
would have been
yeah, it'll
gone.
be bad. It'll be bad. But again, I'm just trying to make it cool to care about your local government. Not only cool but easier too. I think easier is like just as important because people got a lot going on.
Right. Right. Well, it
Yep.
says Saturday early voting in the Central Ward too. Vote early. It's
Yeah.
from Early voting is from this Saturday until November 1st, right? I
Mhm.
think so. George says somebody's going to jail. I don't have no comment, George. Somebody already went to jail. So, oh, maybe the right person will go to jail this time. I don't know.
Joe is
But
crazy.
I don't know.
Dang.
I don't know. It wasn't, yeah, it wasn't fun. I mean, I don't know why people do things to lead to jail, but not a fun space. So any last words you want to say as we wrap this up to the audience?
I
At
just
a
want
moment.
to tell, yeah, I just want to tell everybody listening to start imagining a Newark where like we pride ourselves on our collective intelligence. I just think just imagine it, because the more you imagine it, the more likely it is to come true. So just
Mm-hmm.
imagine that people pride themselves on keeping our streets clean, or they pride themselves on helping our youth read, or providing activities to seniors. Just imagine all that fun, safe, enjoyable stuff, and then I think it's going to happen faster than we think. So that's all.
Okay. All right. Well, I thank you for coming on. You have to come back. You got to give us some infographics,
Hmm.
the data that you've compiled of Newark, the Central Ward. Oh, George had a good one. More slumlords need to go to jail. The slumlords are horrible though in Newark. They get
All
away
right,
with
let
a
me say
lot.
something about this. Let me say something about this.
Yes.
So George Tillman Jr. had me, not had me, that was a bad choice of words. He called me and told me about what was going on at with NCC. He said that seniors were passing away and that they were essentially being slumlords, right?
Wow.
Right. So George said that. So I went up to the podium and I spoke out against the proposed tax abatements that they were trying to give NCC. And then the guy, his name is Richard from NCC, he
Mm-hmm.
contacted me and we spoke. And he basically saying that that isn't true and that they're trying to provide 100% affordable housing, three families in these buildings. So he's saying the things that George said was just totally not true. And I'm just
Wow.
like, because we don't have access to the data, you put people like me in this position where it's like you just got to believe something because you like somebody more and you literally don't have like access to the same data. So that's another reason why our city is so
Wow.
divided, is because everybody don't know what's going on, and you literally got to choose somebody because you like them better and not because the numbers are telling a very particular story.
Oh,
So it's like
that's dangerous too.
it's extremely dangerous because it just allows people to gaslight you.
Yep.
That's all. So we got like most of our citizens, especially the seniors, like they always gaslighting the seniors,
And
and
that's sad.
it's sad. Yep. Mhm.
I've seen that too, where the seniors come. I believe it was the building on the corner of South Orange Avenue and Jones Street where the elevators weren't working.
Mm.
And they were like, the seniors were lying. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Why would these people lie about the elevator not working? And I think how many floors does it have? Like 20 floors or 15 or something like that in that building?
Wow.
I can't remember, but yeah, like people, seniors had to walk up the stairs
Wow.
and they had the elevators out for like weeks, weeks. And I'm like, why would y'all do that to the seniors? If somebody wasn't on their job, just say that. Don't act like the seniors are crazy and they didn't just walk up those 15 flights to get to their apartment, or, winded and breathing heavy and blood pressure up.
But that's what the data could reveal when people aren't on their job. And we could spot it faster rather than let it go on for decades or years. It's like
Mm-hmm.
we could stop, like we could spot it and say we see what's going on. We want to try different strategy. So I think everybody gets it. It's just we are so used to voting for personalities that I don't know. It's gonna be tough. Always do your own research on anything you advocate on. I know. I mean, yeah.
And she
But
said, "Remember the sister city
oh
scandal?
my God, that was
Did you
funny.
see that? That was crazy, right? Like how,
That was hilarious.
like you didn't just do research at all, like just out of curiosity. They did nothing. Nobody did nothing. And then the fact that they stood there and took pictures with these people.
But again, their supporters don't care. Their supporters like, you know what? Things happen. Like things happen. They don't care. They
That
don't
was
care.
nah, that shit, that's not a thing happens, because then those people were tied to like sex trafficking.
Oh, yep, he
They
was.
were
That guy was.
stealing money,
Yep.
embezzling, like all types of craziness. Like, what the heck? How'd you get it? How'd you not know something was up with these people? No vetting, nothing. And
Mm-hmm.
you know what was crazy about it to me is that they they vetted me so hard. They went back to my great grandfather being a resident of Newark to prove that I was a Norker.
Mm-hmm.
But you let people come from, I don't even know, some city they made up that didn't even exist. But you vetted me, that you know me. They've seen me since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave me a hard time and vetted me about being a true resident of Newark. I couldn't possibly have been, I guess, because I wasn't doing hood rat things and negativity. I can't be from Newark, but oh yeah, you got a degree, you can't be from Newark. You a transplant. But yet y'all let these people come in and not vet them at all. That's crazy to me.
Yep.
Crazy. And they didn't even know those people at all. They were really strangers. But I gotta get the third degree vet interrogated, waterboarded, locked up. Crazy. It's crazy.
That's what we up against. That's what I'm trying to change. So
I hope you're able to make that difference.
mm-hmm.
I don't live in a Central Ward, but our audience, some of them live in a Central Ward. So I hope on November 4th they go and they make that right decision at
Yeah,
the ballot, because we need a better Newark. We need the better Newark that you and I know can exist, and it's not it right now. This is
I
not it
agree.
right now.
I agree.
So, any last words, Mr. Youngblood? I appreciate you coming on too.
Yeah, me too. I didn't know most of that stuff about you. I had no idea. So I had no idea, but I'm happy that I learned that about you because it's definitely inspiring and it was good opportunity for me to get some of these thoughts out there. Yep. Shout out to Lisa.
She got nothing but love for you.
Yep.
We all do.
Yep. I appreciate that.
And I hope you stay around. I feel like you're gonna stay around. Um, and I'm looking forward to the great things you do here in the city. Like
Well,
I
we have
think you're gonna do
elections
good
in May
stuff.
still, right? So like there's
Yes.
elections in May. So I'll be around for sure. I'll
All
be around.
right. All
So
right.
I'll be around. I can guarantee that. So I'll be around.
Any last words for the people? How to find you? How to get your book?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm going to start promoting that book after the election just to get more
Okay.
people involved in May, because I think
Okay.
a lot of more people should definitely get involved and run in May. We need as much diversity and as much
Yes,
like as you know, because like we just need new ideas and they could come from anywhere. So we need more people to run. So
I
I'm going to be
agree.
promoting that soon. So I'm on my website, Jhamar25.com, Jhamar25.com. My Instagram is Jamartian, so at Jamar, Jhamartin. And I'm on Facebook too, at Jhamar Youngblood. So give me a call, send me a message, let's chat. Um, I'm going to enjoy chatting with y'all and learning about everybody. So again, thank you again for sharing your platform with me. I really
You're
appreciate it.
welcome. You're always welcome. And if you have any ideas or if you want to do a live stream, you're always welcome because I like what you're doing. I appreciate what you're doing. I think is needed, and I think you're an inspiration to our young men in Newark, especially our high schoolers. You know, ninth to 12th grade. What you're doing is very inspiring to them. Um, and I think you're somebody. You're a gentleman that moms in Newark want their sons to be like, you know, and I hope you stay around because of that and that these young men need to see people like you.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
You're very welcome. And Nadira says, thank you. Wait, hold up. Will says you can vote in Newark now. Youth can vote in Newark now. Okay, yep. And Nadira says, thank you both for tonight with the data. Yeah, the data.
Free the data. Free the data.
We got free. You right. We need t-shirts. We need
Free
free
the
the data.
data. I
Yeah,
know. Trust
yeah.
me. Look, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Free the data. We gonna have the whole city screaming, "Free the data." I can see it now.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. And
Yep.
and look, Miss Parker said data drives everything. She's
There you
right.
go.
She's
Yep.
right.
Yep.
It's data is actually a form of accountability.
There you go.
It's accountability and works.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you wanted to know what accountability looks like, it's the data. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, and then you can't, and then they can't call you conspiracy theorist, or they can't
Right.
say you grandstanding. It's like, no, we all see the story this data is telling us. So
Yep. Yep. All
this was
right, Miss.
fun. This was
Thank
fun,
you. It
and
was.
hopefully
I
we could do it
appreciate
again.
you.
Yep, you too.
All right. You have a good night.
All right, you too.
And viewers, thank you for coming out with us. I appreciate you guys watching. Oh, yes. Thank you, Felicia. We're gonna go out on that note, and I hope you guys have a good night. Enjoy yourselves. Peace. This was Current Exposure.